everybody. Hope you're all doing well today. Listen, if there is one thing that you can always depend on with the left, it's their complete and utter hypocrisy. So every time they pull a stunt that makes you want to behave like a liberal who just witnessed the defeat of Hillary Rodham Clinton in a presidential election, just take a deep breath and remember, eventually, without question, they will spin 180 degrees on the exact same issue, and we will be there to nail them to the wall. So we're going to talk about just such a case today. As I'm sure you've heard by now, the satanic unborn baby killing Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has finally died, and I mean finally. And you will not make me feel bad for saying that, so don't even try. So now we have an open seat on the Supreme Court, and a big controversy for the left is brewing. Will President Trump go ahead and fill that seat, considering we are on the precipice of a presidential election? Because, of course, they feel that that should be left to the winner of the 2020 presidential election, which we all know will be President Trump, unless, of course, they are successful in stealing it through mail-in ballots or through going around the Supreme Court, upending the Electoral College. And you may be saying to yourself, well, that's a reasonable way for the left to feel, being there is an election coming up, that they should go ahead and wait for the next president-elect to fill that seat. And I say, no, it's not, unless you're a big fat hypocrite. Because almost exactly 4 years ago, we had just such, and it's amazing how things play out, because this same thing happened almost exactly 4 years ago with Anthony Scalia. If you do not remember, he was on the Supreme Court. He passed away under some real shady circumstances, but nonetheless, he was the one moderate that kept us from absolutely, as conservatives, losing this country to a room full of left-leaning Supreme Court justices. And as you may well know, really how you win or lose power within a country, or within our country anyway, is through the Supreme Court. So President Barack Obama quickly named Merrick Garland to fill the seat of Judge Scalia. Widely regarded as a moderate, Garland had been praised in the past by many Republicans. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, however, declared any appointment by the sitting president would be null and void. He said the next Supreme Court justice would be chosen by the next president to be elected that year. In a speech that August in Kentucky, McConnell would say, quote, "One of my proudest moments was when I looked Barack Obama in the eye and I said, 'Mr. President, you will not fill the Supreme Court vacancy,'" end quote. McConnell was not alone. The 11 Republican members of the Senate Judiciary Committee signed a letter saying that they had no intention of consenting to any nominee from Obama. No proceeding of any kind were held on Garland's appointment. Democrats were outraged, as you can imagine, but they were short the tools that they needed to respond. As the minority party, following a disastrous midterm in 2014, they could not force a committee to a floor vote. They gave speeches and they urged voters to turn out in protest in the November elections, and we all know how that went. A federal lawsuit was filed to compel McConnell to hold a vote on Garland. It was thrown out because a judge said the plaintiff, as an ordinary voter, has no standing to sue. For his part, McConnell argued that the Democrats had at least contemplated a similar tactic back in 1992 when Obama's vice president, Joe Biden, was chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee and mused about urging President George H.W. Bush to withhold any nominees to the high court until the end of the political season. Well, as it happened, no vacancy occurred in 92, but McConnell and others referred to the, quote, Biden rule, nonetheless in justifying the blockade of Garland. So now on to our hypocrite for the day, none other than Hillary Rodham Clinton. And this video clip is just prior to her a humiliating defeat in the 2016 election against President Donald Trump.
This is a critical moment. If the Republicans in the Senate act as though they have no responsibility to work with the president to fill that vacant position because they want to wait to see how the election comes out, the people of this country should send a very clear message. That is not the way our Constitution works. You have a duty, we expect you to fulfill it. You know, we've got some judges on the courts of appeal. They were confirmed, 99 to nothing. So there are people who've already gone through the process, and I think the president will be looking for somebody. There are some great other people, great jurists and lawyers and advocates. So I'm hoping that we'll get somebody nominated, that everybody will say, hey, the only reason to block this is pure partisanship. The way our brilliant founders set up this country requires compromise. Why? Because they had some pretty tough fights in those days. They had big disagreements. But here's what they understood. No human being has all the answers.
So there you have it. In the words of Hillary Rodham Clinton, there is no reason that we should be waiting to fill this seat. In fact, it's our obligation to fill this seat. So, President Trump, consider this Hillary Clinton's nod to go ahead and get that seat filled, and the rest of us concur. I hope y'all have a fantastic rest of the day, and please feel free to share, like, and subscribe. Thanks. Bye-bye.